But I'm recording now. How you doing, Mr. Man? It's been a week or two.
Or 3 or 4. How
I
about
think
you? I'm good, thank you.
that's good. How's the puppy? Remember last time we talked, you got a puppy.
Yeah, she's a shithead terrorist. Kind of want to
If you can
throw
send me
her off the
pictures,
bridge.
I'll add the pictures to the video.
Yeah, you can have that one picture of her.
All right,
She's
cool.
cute, and she's
She
the
is.
reincarnation of a dog that I had for like all of my 20s, pretty much, and into my 30s. They
Oh,
act the same. The breed is
oh,
Italian Greyhound, and the mannerisms are all the exact same. So it's pretty great.
that's
Like
awesome. Congrats on that.
reincarnation, I already know how to deal with the dog. Fear is the best way to deal with animals. You don't actually need to touch them, but if you speak forcefully and loudly and stomp, works like a motherfucker.
That's why they growl and bark, you know? Like to say, hey, back the fuck up, bruh. So if you do it, they understand. And it won't make them
Yeah,
scared of
exactly. I speak
abuse.
to them in their language. Yeah, you don't need to beat animals, though. If you beat animals, you're doing it wrong.
The number one tip I have to give anybody listening, though, is if you discipline your dog, do not pet them or say good boy or I love you or any kind of nice things afterwards. Like, don't scream at them, don't call them stupid or anything. Just say, hey, no. And then let them know, like, hey, no. And then don't pet them or reward them afterwards because then they're just going to think, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Not to do it because his voice is scary, but at the same time, he's still going to give me pets. And it's going to condition them to do that for pets. Or it's going to, depending on the temperament, but that's usually how it works.
I call my method the Darth Vader method. Fear
Well,
will
your
keep them
method
in
is
line.
just like
Fear will
what?
keep them in line, just like Darth Vader. You never let me finish the joke, damn it.
I'm sorry, sorry. I was trying to make sure we weren't advocating dog abuse because you know how YouTube is. Like just like kids, you punish them, but you don't fucking abuse them. Well, actually, you
Darth
beat the
Vader
shit out
didn't
of
kill
kids.
everybody. He just looked at them
He
in a
choked
way.
his girlfriend out and yelled at his kids. That didn't he cut off
Hey,
Luke's hand?
you put a wife beater on him, and it's just 1940. Like, don't worry about
A black wife beater and black Air Forces. You know the joke: black guys in Air Force, black Air Forces are like dangerous.
it. He's already black, so he's
Yeah,
adding
I
to
know.
the
Give
crime
him
right now.
a, give him a. I gotta. That's actually a pretty funny joke. But anyways, what we wanted to start off here is, I've noticed the past year, not just like a lot of it's remakes and re-release. It's just remakes and then ports. But Final Fantasy has had a renaissance lately. And what I mean by that, I mean they're knocking it out of the park with like Steam release after Steam release. Because the PC crowd is who you want to hit. Because I feel like the YouTubers that are on PC are more vocal and like are more seen. So getting these games out there and making a good game will really like get people back into Final Fantasy, and it brings new fans in, which could be a bad thing depending on what kind of shithead they are. Are they a funny troll shithead, or are they like make the game more the way I want to play it, or you suck? And you know how those
Yeah,
people are. But
that's like most of them. Most of them are whiners. But I have to ask this. I'm going to take your role when we talk about D&D. What the hell makes Final Fantasy special anymore? Because back in the day, when I played 7, it was the graphics, and in 8, it was the battle system, and in 9, it was the kind of the graphics and the battle system, and then I just fucking stopped paying attention because it all seemed repetitive. It's you got a main character, you gather a bunch of dickheads, you go around, you get some sort of machine to go around faster, and then you get another machine to go around even faster. You unlock areas and you kill shit. What is
well,
it the same or is it
you're
different at all?
boiling down game mechanics, which
Yeah, that's what I
yeah,
mean. Is it
well,
all
I
the
mean
same
like
game mechanics still?
there's still so much that goes. Yeah, I'm about to mansplain the shit out of this to people listening. But
Fuck yeah.
what makes Final Fantasy great? Like I didn't grow up. I grew up with the games around me. I didn't beat a game or play far into a game because I was a retard kid that didn't understand RPGs. Like I couldn't. Like I would just hit X and scroll through. Like, I didn't like reading. If you couldn't, tell me out loud, you couldn't speak to me. I'm just skipping through, and I didn't understand combat. And then as an adult, since I came back to PC in 2020, I got into Final Fantasy and understand the stories. What draws me in is the ambience, the fantasy world you get to live in, and then all the like just the epic story you go through. Even if it's kind of the same, some of the mechanics are samey, the gimmicks, like what you called out is like mechanic gimmicks that they've had, and yeah, that's what sold them to some people. Because some people they don't care about the story or the IP or the legacy or even the gameplay. They just care about the graphics sometimes, or they care
I'm not
about like.
shitting on the
I
mechanics.
know,
I'm just
you
asking,
are not.
like, is it all the same? That's all I want to know.
Yeah. Well, so it isn't, and this
Okay.
actually kind of shows that. So Final Fantasy VII Red Intergrade was the first big Final Fantasy release in modern times, in my opinion. The one that I was, because I don't play a lot of RPGs. I play MMOs, but I don't play RPGs, JRPGs specifically. If you see it right here. So I don't get advertised a lot of these. So when I seen this being ported to PC, it was about time, you know. But this is, if you've never seen a video, this is like open world Final Fantasy.
Wow.
It's
Yeah, I
Final
played
Fantasy
7.
VII, but modern action. Actually, I'll get real gameplay footage. You know, we keep it realm style. You know what I mean?
Here's my boomer story from Final Fantasy
Oh,
VII back in the
share.
day. It came in like 8 CDs or something retarded like that.
Three, yeah,
And
four, I think.
it was a bunch of CDs,
Yeah,
like
it
way more
was.
than that. No, I think it was no, it was more than 4, man. It
Oh
had to be
fuck.
more than 4. There were so many CDs in that. The
It
only
could
other
be.
one that had more CDs
Like I
than
said, I
that
didn't
was like
play it.
Baldur's Gate 2. Baldur's Gate 2 had a shitload of them, and pretty much all those style of games. You had to switch between them every time you went to areas and shit. And
I
anyway,
didn't
yeah,
play it that
I would
much,
always get
so I
to the
don't
first
remember.
stage of Final Fantasy VII, and I couldn't even get to the second disc for the longest time. Had to wait like an entire year to play that game properly.
Hey, if someone's listening, let us know how many discs the original Final Fantasy had, and tell us what game had the most on PlayStation One. So this is the
No, this
full
was for
game.
PC. I
Oh,
played on
PC.
PC.
Oh shit. Okay, so
Get out of
That's
us.
why
yeah,
I couldn't make it work past disc 1
I
because
believe you.
all my drivers were old and my graphics card just wasn't able to keep up. I fucking swear to God, it would smoke.
I thought you were
And
talking
then
about
after a
PS1,
year, I was
bro.
able to upgrade all my shit, and then I was able to play through the game. It's pretty fun. My favorite part about the Final Fantasy games was you got to name all your people. So I'd name all the chicks
Why
like
not help?
Tits and Jugs and Knockers and shit like that. And then someone would be like, "Oh, were you sad when Tifa died?" I'm like, "Who the fuck is Tifa?" And they're
Yeah.
like, the healer. I'm like, "Oh, Jugs? Yeah, Jugs died. That sucked." And it's like, fuck. I don't even know their real names. I would change their names immediately.
That's funny. So this is like the intro. It stays on point with the original game, except it's more detailed and it looks better. As you can see, it plays like Final Fantasy 15, that action style combat, except you don't have the ability to turn on that mode where if you're not moving, it pauses for you. So this is like all fast action. But as you can see, I need actual gameplay, dude. It's a lot of cutscenes early in the game.
Oh, fuck. It was only 3 discs. My bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You
my bad.
fucking kidding me?
It
Because
seemed
on
like a
PC,
ton.
I have one of the original Bethesda games. It's Terminator, and it's like 6 floppy disks, bro. So I completely believe you when you said PC had more than 4 discs. That's crazy
I
that
think
it
I was just
didn't.
thinking of a different game.
Had to have been. I mean, I wouldn't, dude. I totally believe it. I really feel like PC probably had more. It shouldn't, but back in the day, games came in multiple discs sometimes. But this is Final
Holy
Fantasy
shit.
VII, so it's open world. It actually has a lot of open areas, side quests, places that you shouldn't even be in, but you can go to. This is what makes this one better because it's Final Fantasy VII remade, but modern. So you get to like walk around and enjoy the game with modern tech, a modern open world. You get to actually live in, I forget what city it's called. So this is like that's the gimmick of 7. It's a remake that everyone knows of if you're a millennial, a gaming millennial. So
Yeah.
that's the draw. That came out last year, 2022, June 17th. So this is like the start of what I call the Final Fantasy Renaissance. And then next up, I believe this came out next, Crisis Core, which was a remake of a PlayStation game, but it's kind of similar. It's like made with that like modern action. So let's see, Crisis. Oops. Hold on, guys. Crisis Core Final Fantasy 7 PC gameplay. Sorry, I have to spell. Well, I speak out when I'm typing.
Hey, you were excited at the end there. You're like, fuck yeah, I found it.
And so it looks similar. You play as the same blonde-haired weirdo, but actually no, you play as the black-haired guy. But it's the same game, except you have, I guess the layout's a little bit different. But it's still action, and you still get to go through all the menus and do your spells while you're playing. And I guess it pauses in some menus. But this is this is what makes Crisis Core worth it too. It's a mod. All these games are modern action games now. That is the draw to it. They have some Souls-like mechanics, but action RPGs are really good now. They're very technical. They're popular again because of Elden Ring and games that came out after that kind of take that style. So Crisis Core is a welcome addition. Like all these are kind of similar. It's just they're remakes of older games. So their value is playing a modern, a modern old game essentially. Like how they keep re-releasing GTA and shit, not making it better. Just imagine if they remade it with the new tech we have now. But so that's the second game that I say that's really adding to this Final Fantasy renaissance. Then we have Final Fantasy 16 coming out this year, which this is the gameplay I actually think is going to kind of hurt the series, but that's because I don't like the gameplay. I think it's like turn-based. No, it's not turn-based. You get to just be a furry. Like you have like these furry magic powers. You know how there was ultimates where you'd summon a monster and shit? Instead of summoning things, you become the monster. So you are a furry.
You become the summon.
Yes.
Interesting.
What the fuck? Is it really just 2 hours of the state of play? Stream starting. Why is it just hours of nothing?
It's a podcast?
No, it's like it's this long ass wait just for 20 minutes of videos to give it more hype than it deserves. So it's still kind of like this plays more like Bless on Unleashed. It's an MMO, but you have a combo system in the bottom right where you press a button, and once you press that button, based on the change you set up, you get to select another attack following up. So you could probably build some cool combos. So this is like the advanced, this is where they're trying to go with the new modern action gameplay. Instead of just remaking it and just making it like Final Fantasy 16 or 15 rather, they're trying to. You see, look, you get wings and you become a fucking a dark angel lord. Look at that. That's my issue with it. I know it's not that big of an issue because the combat looks nice. The combo system on the bottom right literally plays like Blessed Unleashed, the MMO. I'll show you Blessed Unleashed. So I like ranting about video games to you, bro.
Well, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's fine with me. I'll have an opinion when I don't know what the hell you're talking about, so it makes it easy.
We should whenever we get to the point where we stream. Oh, dude, we can just rant about video games forever.
Oh, speaking of video games we ranted about, my buddy is finally feeling like playing again. That'd be Zverg, and he wants to play some Darktide. We'll be playing some Darktide here pretty quick.
My B-Day is coming up, and I'm about to get a bonus from work, so I'll get Darktide to play with y'all. All right, so the combat system's right here. I'm trying to get to the combat.
We're friends on Steam, right?
No, I'm friends with everyone else but you on Steam.
I think you are. Oh no, there you are.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You haven't been on in 2 months though.
Yeah, I say logged off because I added a couple people from the old days from when I was like hanging out with the other guys before I made Tism Basement. So I stay offline so none of them can see what I'm doing, what I'm playing and shit. But as you see, when you do an attack, you have a combo that pops up after that, and you only get to do a combo based on your starting button press, just like that other Final Fantasy 16 that we've seen. So that's why I said the combat reminds me of Blessed Unleashed. But the most recent game that came out, this just hit Steam April 9th, a couple days ago. This is Stranger of Paradise, a Final Fantasy Origin. And this is by far the most different one.
There's nothing final about this fantasy.
I know, they keep making...
Call it never-ending fantasy, because it sure as fuck isn't final.
I will say, I recognize some of the story tropes, but that's just because I'm a person that, like, I analyze video games more than I play them, obviously. But the intro is nice, the graphics is cool, but here's the combat. This guy is a mage. This is me. So as a mage, you press a button and then you get a magic wheel, and the longer you hold it, the more hardcore the magic gets. Just like in actually, In Final Fantasy 15, you actually had to craft magic bombs. This one you get the cast. But you can see this is kind of Souls-like. This is the most Souls-like of them all. Because you select the level, and then when you start, it's kind of like a classic Final Fantasy world. It's not open world. You have a menu, you have a world map that you select different missions to go to. And I think there's cities and hubs you go to. But the special thing about this game is made by Team Ninja. And if you don't know who Team Ninja is, they've made Neo. And for some reason, Team Ninja is not popping up here. So let me show you. Team
I know what Neo is.
Strangers. You know what Neo is?
I know what Neo is.
Yeah. All right. So those developers, they made Neo 2, obviously, made Strangers of Paradise. Right here. Strangers of Paradise is a Final Fantasy developed by Koei Tecmo's Team Ninja. Which is funny because Team Ninja, who made Neo, made Wo Long, which is another like action RPG. So Team Ninja made 2 action RPGs, and you've seen the boss battle for this. Let's see if Wo Long has similar gameplay. I just wanted to see if these games are similar, or Team Ninja is just leading the way in action RPGs, but still trying to be different. You know what I mean? Like, every new game they release, they try something different so that nothing's the same. I hope that's what they're trying to do. But if you look...
can go both ways. I've seen that absolutely fail before.
Yeah, I have too. But this seems just like another Neo to me, but Chinese.
That's Bud Light. Bud Light knows what it's like to lose out when you try something new.
Somehow, Bud Light made its way into a gaming show or podcast.
Fucking right. Pop culture, baby.
Hey, the only thing I care about pop culture is my Dr. Pepper, strawberries and cream, and my cream sodas. My favorite Dr. Peppers. My favorite sodas of all time. I'll drink a Pepsi if that's available, but if I have a choice, it's Dr. Pepper cream soda or strawberries and cream. So this gameplay is a little bit different than Strangers of Paradise. This plays more like a Samurai Warrior / Dynasty Warriors, because this is published by Koei Tecmo, who made Dynasty Warriors. And Team Ninja made this game, so I was thinking maybe they made a Dynasty Warrior Souls-like game, but no, they just made an action RPG with, you know, similar combat and designs as Samurai Warrior / Dynasty Warrior. But Final Fantasy is going through a renaissance, and action RPGs themselves are just knocking it out of the park in 2023. I can't wait to see what else comes out. And I'm not trying to look at release calendars. I'm just seeing what comes out and, you know, taking it day by day. I'm not trying to prepare for anything. Because if I do, my expectations are going to rise and I'm going to be disappointed. You know what I mean? That's my logic on that.
I got you.
18 minutes. Bam.